My guest right now is the man, the myth, the legend, Moosomin Ranger icon, and senior hockey veteran. Now he's got a new role this year. Paul Stapleton. He's the general manager of the Moosomin Rangers. And Paul, how are you doing tonight?
Very good. Thanks. Yourself?
Oh, I can't complain.
Good.
And
Good.
and if I could, who'd listen, as they say.
No doubt.
So you've had quite the eventful off season, changing roles from player into your manager role. How's that going so far?
Well, a lots to learn in a short amount of time. I was approached probably about a month ago from the executive wondering what my plans were. I was going to stay on as a player coach with Coach Horn, and they asked if I'd be interested in being the manager. So I said, if you think I can do it, was my answer back to the board, then yeah, I'll certainly try it and go from there. So I think obviously this is what year 23 as part of the Rangers. So I think I have a good grasp of what has to be done. I've obviously been in different capacities throughout the year, whether it was player coach or last year I was actually the assistant manager and helped out in some duties. So this year I'm looking at taking it on full time, I suppose. Hopefully I do an okay job.
What have been some of the bigger challenges in the early going?
Obviously, last year was a huge year for us, so I think expectations will be high that we repeat. But as everybody knows in senior hockey, it's tough because you got so many people moving, retiring, maybe looking at playing elsewhere. So I think the early challenges were we actually lost 11 players off our last year's roster. So obviously that's a huge gap when you're losing a guy like Brock Trotter, who was right behind Bud in league scoring and also as a team scoring. Uh, we lost four of our steady D, so we basically lost four out of the six defensemen we had last year. So obviously we had to regroup quickly and trying to replenish the back end. So that was a huge undertaking.
Where
Uh,
did Brock go?
he actually moved to Portage. He and his wife and his family are starting Wendy's in Portage. So his family already owns the Wendy's in Brandon, so they thought they'd link out and branch out and open one up in Portage. So
Okay.
yeah, he's very fortunate too. He got on with the Portage Terriers. He's acting as an assistant coach with them this year, so I'm sure he'll be busy between building a new business and helping out with that junior A team there. Obviously at that level, it's a huge commitment. Practicing every day on the road, you know, so I'm sure he'll be busy. Plus, he has a brand new son too. So I mean, I'm sure his life is busy.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was going to ask if he was playing for the Islanders, but it doesn't sound like he has time.
No, I don't. The last conversation I had with him in the summer was he was officially done playing hockey. His last game with us was in Redvers. We obviously were very fortunate enough to win that provincial, or pardon me, league championship, and he was pretty happy with that. He's like, I'm done. So good for him.
Pretty good way. Pretty good way to end out.
Yes, I mean, obviously he's played at high level. Obviously had a couple games in the NHL, lots of pro leagues over in Europe and whatnot, and played some Division 1 college. So he's had a long career. So he decided to focus now on family and business, and he really wants to get into coaching. So I think he wants to somehow carve out a living coaching full time, which I
Yeah,
think with his hockey knowledge and background should be easy enough for him to do. Good
should be.
guy.
Yeah.
He was good. He took on the role sometimes of going over some plays with the younger guys. Him and Bud were extremely good at that and getting through those young guys. So young guys to me, sorry, they're not young anymore, but they're young to me. And if he can do that with a bunch of 20-year-olds, I'm sure he can translate that same what's the word, skill, for lack of a better term, into kids that are 16 to 20 without issue.
Yeah, no doubt. Who
Yeah.
else did you guys lose this year?
Well, Tyson Jameson retired. Drew Schiller retired. Jody Boutin retired. We lost Springer, went back to Rocanville. Devin McGonigal, who played parts of a season with us last year, he has now gone on to Rocanville. So, there's 6 guys right there that we lost.
And rumor is the Elms brothers as well.
Obviously, I was going to get to them, but we lost both of those, Josh and Jackson, to Rivers, Manitoba. They're both playing in Rivers this year. So, I
Makes
mean,
the
that's a big. I mean, Josh and Jackson alone, losing those 2 was going to be a huge deficit to our back end. So
yeah.
when you take out, they logged a lot of minutes, obviously, for the people that watched us play last year, like, and all, whether it's 5-on-5, power play, PK, they both logged a lot of minutes. So that's going to hurt.
Who have you replaced them with?
Well, we're fortunate we grabbed a guy named Brad Cole. So he's going to help replenish some of that toughness from the back end. Obviously, he played some pro hockey. I think, from what I understand, I think he played in the American League, had a pretty good career over there. And then I think he played some European hockey. So, that'll help out.
He was with Elkhorn most recently, and
I believe he was, yes. So I know we grabbed a couple young guys that will, I think will help us out. One of the a Bender kid that is a local guy. He's done I think he was way playing junior B. He's back here now playing senior for us, so that'll help. Another young kid, Mitchell Rutledge. He played some. I think he was playing some junior B down in the States somewhere. Not quite sure how those leagues work down there, but so he's back playing with us. Another defenseman, so that'll help. We grabbed another local guy, Foth, that played in Mowota last year. I think he can play both, so it might look like we might have to use him in the back end once or twice, depending on what the numbers look like. So that'll help shore up the back end. I think we also grabbed another D from Elkhorn's team last year too. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if it's 100% confirmed yet. So
fair enough.
yeah, it's crazy to think of a team like Elkhorn. You hate to see any team, have to take a leave of absence or have to not play or not ice a team. When you look at a team like Elkhorn and the success they've had over the last 10 years, maybe even more, and to think a successful franchise, for lack of a better term, had that much success and they can't ice a team, it just shows you how much work, how much effort is needed by whether it's a board or a community to keep senior hockey alive. And I think you're seeing more and more of those type of teams, whether they're good or bad, they seem to be struggling because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of commitment for a lot of people to make sure senior hockey, is alive and well in Saskatchewan.
Absolutely. And
So I was a little just not, obviously their misfortune could be our gain, but big picture, I'd rather see Elkhorn have a team because when you think of last year, Elkhorn won their league, Rocanville won their league, Moosomin won their league. So we got this part of the province, has 3 different teams in 3 different leagues, and all 3 teams won. So that's pretty cool for people around here to be able to have lots of options to watch senior hockey and lots of options for young kids that want to play hockey at a competitive level continue to play.
yeah, I was hoping for a Champions League between the 3 teams, and
Yeah.
could have a really good local league if they decide to divvy it up.
Well, I think I don't know, Travis, but moving forward, you might have to see some realignment with some leagues that are like that, where you see Rocanville, Mooseman, Elkhorn all in one league. I don't know how that would work logistically, insurance wise. I know we did it before when we joined the Manitoba League, and I don't think it was
Yeah.
that much of a big deal, but simply logistics and trying to attract players, you might see something like that happen. But then again, if you have three teams that close, maybe there'd be too much of a struggle to fight for players.
That's true. Like
So, yeah,
the advent of the Sask East is good for the Big Six and hockey fans in the area.
yeah, for sure it is. Like, Esterhazy's rejoined the league. That was good. They always had, like, when we played in the Triangle League with Esterhazy years ago, they always had good teams. They had a 5 or 6 year run where they were extremely good. And then, like every senior team in the area, they go through their down cycle, and their down cycle was apparently to the point where they couldn't ice a team. So it was unfortunate to see them leave, but it's really good to see them spark up again.
Well, we saw that with Rocanville, didn't we? With the last year of the Triangle.
Yeah, and I mean,
And
it's tough to even match the success that Rocanville's had over the last, say, 15 years, right? Like
yeah,
they've had a really good run. I know, they had a couple lean years, but for the most part, say even the last 10 to 15, they've had some really good runs where they have won league championships and fought for provincial titles. So that's pretty good.
and
And I
they've
think,
been fun to watch too.
yeah, and they've always been able, to be able to ice a very competitive team. So, it's good to see that they're still going. I think this year the bit of a rebuild for them. The last time I talked to some people that were involved with that team in the last few weeks, I think it's going to be a bit of a rebuild for them. But but they're still going to have a team, so that's good. I
And
think.
there's
Go ahead. Sorry.
always a chance, and they're always good.
Yeah, it seems like they're able to have a connection here or there, bring in a player or two. So it's good. It's good for the community. All those places. It's good for the rinks. It's good for everything when you see senior hockey in any community, right? And the younger kids like coming to the games, and then they say, "Hey, man, I want to play senior one day," and that cycle just continues. So,
Yeah, might have to revamp my schedule and get some Rocanville games on there.
yeah, I
But
can't see why you wouldn't. Like, I think, yeah, I think that league's pretty good. I haven't been able to watch any of that other league simply because every time we're always playing when they're playing. But
yeah,
yeah,
well, speaking of my schedule, I've got you guys on November 1st against Mydale.
that's correct. Yep,
And then I'm got you guys again on January 10th when Redverse comes to town.
correct. Yep,
That should be a good game.
yeah. Redvers. I don't know for sure. Everything's been pretty quiet, Trav. Like I haven't heard. Besides Carlisle, they grabbed a couple players, pretty solid players in the Holt brothers from Bean Fate as they're taking a leave of absence. So again, and since we joined the league, we've had 11 teams. Now we're down to 8 in the last 4 years. So it's unfortunate, but that is, obviously that's senior hockey when you're trying to ice competitive team and players are coming and going, and I don't know what kind of fan support they have. Maybe I'm not sure what it was. If it was a board thing, it was a player thing, a financial thing. But we were just told they're taking a leave of absence for this year.
Hopefully they're able to come back and
Yeah, I mean they've been in this league for a long time. I know when we first joined this league back in 2002, they were in this league, and then we left for what 20 years,
yeah,
almost
something like
years.
that. Yeah.
We come back and they're still in the league. So it was pretty disheartening, sad to see, I guess, that they had to take a leave of absence.
Yeah, and they were a provincial powerhouse. In 2011, they went to the provincial final.
Yeah, and
I
they've had good teams for a long time, and even this year, since we've joined this league, they were still a solid team, right? You didn't go down there and just grab 2 points,
oh
and it was
no,
and as when they came to Moosomin, it wasn't like it was point night. Like they gave us all they had most nights. It wasn't that far long ago. It took us all we had to get by them in the second round of playoffs to get to the league finals.
yeah, well, 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not sure what happened. They were a team.
Bud's
Yeah,
didn't Bud score a shorthanded game winner in overtime?
shit, man. Your memory could be better than mine, but that's exactly may have what happened. Yeah, they. I remember playing when you play them. It didn't matter if it was 7-1 or 2-1. They were playing the same. They were coming at you. They would not quit.
Yeah, I remember following them, and it's tough to see for the league itself. Um, Getting back
Yeah.
to the Rangers, is there anything else you'd want to add this evening? We can always do part two of a season preview. I've
I think our team will be equally as fast. I mean, us grabbing the two potential forwards we got from Elkhorn that are coming, they should really help to our offense. I mean, people. I mean, obviously everybody knows we have Bud. I mean, he's been the league's top scorer for the last 3 years, right? So, I mean, Sawchuk's coming back, who is his kind of right hand man. He always comes ready to go, and his speed really helps the attack on the offensive end. I think the two guys we're getting from Elkhorn will certainly help. So I think offensively, when you've seen what a guy like Riker Cole did last year in the playoffs for us, obviously he blew up. And how many goals did he score in the playoffs? 15.
Yeah, he had a really good playoff run. Yeah.
Oh man, like did he not have back-to-back hat tricks in one and maybe in the second round? Like his line was on fire with him, Trotter, and Skamoski, and Skamoski has now found his scoring touch. So offensive should be good. We should be able to have three good lines, and our fourth line will maybe still be solid. Might not be scoring 4 or 5 goals a game, but hopefully we're solid enough right through that. At any given moment we could ice a strong attack. I think our lines will be deep again. Our team, I think sometimes last year that was our strength, was our depth. We were able to roll three lines at any given time, and the fourth line was there to support. And when they were called upon, they were able to do a job and get in, get out, not get scored against. Obviously, our goaltending tandem will be the same. I think we'd have some of the stronger goalies in the league between Levi and Bex, right? Um, yeah, I think with adding with the potential of adding the four people from Elkhorn with their winning traditions and their weddings ways, I think it'll amalgamate well with what we're trying to do here. So I have no concerns with having that group of guys join our room. Uh, we've got a player coming over from Carlisle who was a 2 point a game guy last year, coming down to Moosomin, so that's good. That'll help pick up the slack that Trotter left. Yeah, Trav, overall, I think, it's easy to say we're going to make the playoffs for sure.
Well,
All eight
yeah.
teams, simply because all 8 teams are making the playoffs. But, I mean, you've been around senior hockey a long time. Once the playoffs start, you don't know what's going to happen, right?
Oh no, anyone gets hot at the right time,
That's
and
right. Just like
in
at
the
any level of hockey, whether it's the NHL, whether it's junior, U18, it's the playoffs are a whole new season, right? Everybody, I remember sitting in our room last year laughing because we went on a bit of a skid after Christmas. We were pretty short staffed at a couple of those away games where, Trotter was away with some family, having a baby. Bud was nursing some injuries. We had Sawchuck away on some family gatherings. So you'd take three of your top scorers off your team, most teams will lose, I would
oh
think.
yeah,
Right?
for sure.
And we didn't play that well at times either. We still had enough people in our lineup that we should have won. We lost a game to Mydale, who people thought we shouldn't have. We lost a game to Redvers and Carlisle, which is no shame in. Everybody's panicking. I was like, dude, what does it matter? We're making the playoffs. We're still in the top three of the league and the playoffs. And then what do? We were very fortunate. We got on a run. Like who in the hell would have thought that we would have went three straight against Carlisle and Redvers? Nobody would have guessed that, even the guys in the room.
Yeah,
So
I I was making plans to do games 4 and 5, and there didn't turn out to be one.
yeah, like I mean, nobody was like, and by no means were we sitting in our room thinking, three straight, because we were playing hard games every night, like Redvers, Carlisle. they were not easy games. Even our first round against Oxbow, we didn't go three straight, right? They beat us in double overtime, right, at home. Like we had a hard playoffs. Every game was hard. So, uh, but when there's certain guys that stepped up, like I was mentioning, Riker's line, like the way they played in the playoffs last year, that you couldn't ask for much more from a secondary scoring line. So,
Oh no, absolutely not. And
like,
getting points from the back end too. Schiller with that overtime winner in game one
yes,
against Redverse.
yeah, exactly. The most unlikely guy you would kind of, if Josh came in from the point, everybody'd be like, "Yep, that's what he's here for. We get that." Or Jackson. But when you get a guy like Schiller coming in, and it's different. But that's what playoff hockey needs. Everybody contributing in their own way, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing
Um,
I learned as a seasoned veteran. And once you get to the playoffs, man, anything can happen. I've seen people get hot at the right time, and all of a sudden they're your playoff MVP when they were just so during the regular season, or vice versa. Your regular season top scorer MVP, whether he gets hurt or gets into a slump, or teams maybe spent a little more time focusing on them. They don't have the room to move. It all happens, right? That's hockey.
oh, oh yeah, and you never know. You ride a hot goalie, and
Oh, in senior hockey, that's still, to me, in my personal opinion, of playing senior hockey for 25 years. In senior hockey, having a good goaltender is still a pivotal point in your team, and it basically can make or break you. Yeah, you could have a top scorer. Don't get me wrong; you need guys to score. But in senior hockey, if you don't have a good goalie, there's a chance you're not going to go far or you're not going to do well.
well, I remember a time like I think you were on the team already when Phil Miller was filling in for Ryan Potter, and you
Yeah,
guys were going into Carlisle.
yeah,
Nobody expected you guys to win.
yeah. I remember that would have been my first year here once I moved over from Rocanville. Yeah, yeah. And we eventually lost to Weyburn in the finals that year, but yeah, it was all we got to get by Carlisle.
Oh, Carlisle was tough back in those days. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've always another team that's always had strong teams, right? So
Are any of the Currys still playing hockey?
there is a Curry that plays in Carlisle. Yes, I think he's the son of Kelly Curry, I believe. And you can't quote me on that, but I think there's a connection.
I haven't heard. There were three when you guys used to play against them.
Yes, yeah. There was Kelly, Bobby, and who was the one they always called Pickle? I can't remember his first name, his real first name. All three
Wasn't?
good hockey players, right?
Yeah, they were all very good hockey players.
Yeah,
Players that you love to have on your team. They're Brad Marchand type players,
yeah. They
especially um, Mike, number 27.
Mike Curry. That's his real name. Yes.
I think it was he was Pickle, wasn't he?
Yeah, Mike. That's yeah. Yeah, I remember. You're not going to remember this, but one I went and signed up with Wowoda for a provincial run, and I was on a line with him, and we lost in the provincial final when I was playing Wowoda. He was good to play with. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I think I do remember that provincial run.
yeah.
Who did you guys lose to?
Was it Watrous? Was it Lanigan? Someone up north there. I can't remember exactly who. So, like,
Watchers, because I think it was back to back. Moosomin lost to Watrous the year before, and then Wawota lost to them the year after.
yeah, maybe you're on to something. Like I said, that's a long time ago now. We're talking 15, probably 15 years ago for sure,
Oh,
maybe if not
at,
more.
at least, yeah.
Yeah,
Like I remember useless stats like that, but sometimes I forget to put gas in my car.
Priorities, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, no, but I'm looking forward to this year. Obviously, I'm still gonna play, but obviously in a different role. So it'll be interesting. I'm stepping down as the captain, so that'll be different after being the captain for geez, Travis, I don't know, 19, 20 years, but it's time. The young guys, they need it's the right thing to do, of course. So it'll be interesting.
has
It'll be
the
different. No pressure.
has the new captain been announced yet, or
No, no. Coach Farrell and I, we've talked about it, and we've got some ideas. So I don't think anybody will be too surprised when we announce a new captain. So, but until we do, we will keep it hush hush.
I'll text you with who I think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come to any major surprise. So
Yeah,
again,
and
it's the right thing to do. I mean, I think I hope I made some lasting impressions on some players as the captain, and I put some type of structure into the room and some expectations of how to conduct yourself when you're in the room, and hopefully some of that continues on with the new captains and the new assistants. And I'm sure it will. Like I said, we've the last 3 years, Travis, we've had a really good group of guys that were just bonded together, and the room was an unbelievable atmosphere, really good. Like you couldn't ask for a bunch of better teammates over the last 3 years. Lots of fun winning. Obviously, we've had a fair amount of success, so it's easy to keep up. But I mean, we've lost as well. So I mean, so it's not like everything's come easy to us. So yeah, it's really good. It's fun, and this will be my 25th year as a player. So I think that's why I'm calling it quits. I think 25 is a good round number to say, hey, I've had a good run. It's time.
well, 25 years of playing any sport, that's pretty good. And
Yeah. Last year was going to be my last year, but then I just couldn't do it at 24. That sounds odd. So I said 25 and out. That's good.
yeah, I was looking forward to doing a Paul Stapleton tribute night. I wasn't able to the year before. Was glad you
Yeah,
held on for one more year.
it's uh it's very humbling too. It's too tough on my ego to keep going. You look, you get 10 points a season. I used to get that in 3 or 4 games. So it's very
Yeah, one
humbling.
game. One didn't you get that against White Bear one night?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if that stuff really counts when you're blowing out teams 30-2 or something, but yeah. But I
Yeah,
mean, it's good. It's still good to be a part of the room. And it's still be good to have the structure of staying in shape. And I just play hockey for different reasons now. And what I try to explain to those young guys is you have to accept your role. So I mean, when you have a young guy and he's on the fourth line with me and he's getting upset, you try to coach him and say, hey, but in 2 years from now, you might be on the second line running the show. But this is your first year, so let's make sure you do your job, right? And your time will come. I'm on the other way. I'm on the way out, but you're on the way up, right?
yeah, exactly.
So you try to pass those little messages on to some of the guys, the young guys, and Coach Farrell and Coach George, they do a good job of keeping things light and trying to make sure people understand their roles and why they make decisions. And for the most part, young guys, it's tough though, right? When you're younger, you know all the answers, you have all the answers, so it's a lot easier for me to sit there and know why I'm not on the power play anymore. But when a kid's 20, 21, he might not be able to wrap his head around it now.
Yeah, coming fresh out of junior and have all these high expectations. Oh, it's senior hockey. I'm going to dominate.
Yeah,
No, no, these guys are good.
yeah, and that's why when you see a guy like Drayson last year, you could tell he finally like this is his third or fourth year in the league playing senior, and you could see now like the senior player he is now compared to when he first came out of senior or junior. What a difference, right?
Oh yeah,
Huge difference. So It's
All
good because
right.
all those guys came together at the right time, and if it wasn't for everybody pulling on the rope, we wouldn't have won. Like to beat
No.
Redbirds three straight, man, you got to have a good team. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
like Redbirds
I
is a good, strong team.
all three were close, hard fought,
Oh,
one, two
unbelievable!
goal games.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I expect, the fan support, the community support we got last year, you couldn't beat it. So we're hoping for the same. The executive has spent another summer doing a pile of work. So their work hopefully does not go unnoticed by certainly the players and the fans that come to the rink. I still think that some of the work they do goes unrecognized, and it's unfortunate that the behind the scenes people don't get the praise that they deserve. So I try to tell all the young guys in the room, like, we have all this stuff because people are working hard in
Well,
August and in July and September, right?
you have a platform right now. Who are some of those people that have put in the hard work?
Well, I mean, Mike Swain as the president has done lots of work.
Oh
Jeff
yeah.
Cole as a recruiter, he's done lots of work. Um, you got, of course, the owner of the team, Donnie Ferguson. He's always doing lots of work. You got Chris Freep behind the scenes doing work. You got Joan Windrum doing lots of work. You got Quinn Skamoski pounding on doors for sponsorship. He does lots of work. You got Cheyenne Beckett. I don't know her new last name. She just got married in the summer. She's uh, she's the driving force behind that great sponsorship we get in the advertisement in our Ranger program. She does lots of behind the scenes work. Like without those 6 or 7 people, it'd be interesting to see where we'd be financially for sure. I'm not sure where we'd be without them. Those 6 people.
And the great community support that the
Oh,
businesses
unbelievable!
of Moosomin.
Like you
I
think of Dodge that ponied up 10 grand last year. That's an unbelievable commitment. Unbelievable.
yeah, I went canvassing about a week ago, and I thought, okay, I might get one or two, might get one on board. No, I got about four or five, all within an hour of.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, obviously, I've been at Mooseman now. We're gonna go. When did I move to Mooseman? Oh, 02. So how many years ago is that now? I don't know.
Quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for me playing for the Rangers, I don't know if I would have met anybody. And I don't know. I mean, I've been very welcomed to this community. I'm certainly it has to do with the fact that I played senior hockey here, but I mean, it's a good community in regards to a smaller Saskatchewan community, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And
And I, yeah,
senior hockey is what brings a lot of communities together, and you see that whether it's Saskatchewan or Manitoba, it's been a lot of fun. I've only been doing it for 4 years, but I don't I don't want to stop.
no, like I know when we were in that North Central League, when you go up to communities like Grandview, I used to enjoy playing Swan River. I didn't like the road trip, but once you got there, it was fun. Like and no, and you could see, you know, Manitoba, like you said, it was equally as good. Some of those communities have some really good fan support too. So, growing up in Manitoba, I always liked in that league because you get to go back. Obviously, I didn't get to play back home, but being in Manitoba and playing in Swan and Grandview, I'd run into people that I remember coming across when I was like in my teens and 20s, like when I was playing junior in Dauphin or in Winnipeg. You still see some of the people, or when I played AAA in Manitoba, seeing some of the people still out watching senior and stuff. It was good to see. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Is there anything else you want to add about the upcoming year, Paul, or should we
No,
call her a night?
I think we covered a lot, didn't we?
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah. Again, I just want to. No, I want everybody to have a good season, and obviously all the games will be close. Yeah, hopefully the fans continue to come out and support us, and obviously it's our goal to have a good long run. I think this year we will again try to make a run for provincials. So hopefully we're in a position to maybe add a person or two and even have a deeper team, and we'll go from there. So
Yeah. Let's try to touch base on November 1st when you guys play Mydale. That game's going to be live on TL Media on Good on Industries Game Time.
yeah, for sure. You take care.
All right. Yep. See you then.
You bet.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.